I woke up once and my world was never ever the same. And that's when I realised that I was physically and mentally addicted to it.
Let's go through the first time you took heroin.
Oof. Yeah, it was in 1997. And yeah, I met up with someone I knew. I'm not going to say friend, like an associate. A substance that I guess straight away was heroin was put on the foil, and I was shown how to smoke that. It numbed me to the point of I felt totally content. I reckon it's sort of going back to being in the mother's womb, I should think, when nothing bothers you, nothing phases you, nothing worries you, everything is just easy, blissful. You're almost invincible. You start chasing that buzz again, you want that feeling. And I would say that I didn't run out of heroin at all for the first 4 months. And then after about between 4 and 5 months, I woke up once and my world was never ever the same. And that's when I realised that I was physically and mentally addicted to it. From the moment you awake to the moment you go to sleep, you are thinking about scoring your next bit of heroin. You're then also thinking, where is the money coming from after that? I've nicked washing machines that have been outside when you've seen the people get them off the lorries on the little trolleys. I've walked off with one of those before. I've gone in and just grabbed armfuls of designer clothes, designer handbags, anything basically, because I knew different people, fences they're called, they would buy anything that I got, anything at all. I served 9 prison sentences, either for driving while disqualified or for shoplifting. I went through some nasty rattles in there when you're sort of detoxing, because back then they didn't give you anything to help you sort of come off. The most they'd give you was an aspirin, and that's not going to do anything. If you can imagine your intestines and your bones feeling like they are on fire 1 minute and then being frozen the next, you've got horrible sweats, you're being sick, you get diarrhea, you cannot keep still, you've got the twitches, your mind is just trying to switch off, you can't sleep. It's just the worst feeling, the worst experience I've ever gone through. That's when you start thinking, I am not in control of this. And then because I wasn't properly clean when I came out, within an hour, I was taking heroin again. I now weigh anything between 14 to 14 and a half stone. Going back then, my lowest was just under 8 stone, because you don't eat food, you're not staying hydrated. I don't know really how the body functions just running on that. About 2006, I decided that being a heroin addict was always going to be my life. You just go along with it. Rather than beating yourself up because you want to get clean and you can't, you sort of throw your hands up, oh well, this is my life, I'll do this and I'll just carry on. In 2008, I was involved in a robbery. I was robbed, and I thought I'd been punched 3 times in the back and I'd been stabbed. I remember laying down in the dirt and I could taste ash and dirt on my tongue. And out of all the years that had gone past before when I didn't care, because I've overdosed many times, at that moment something was just in me that this life was so very precious and there was more to life. I was hospitalised for that. It was a hard time. But from that point, I never ever have touched any illicit drugs since then. All I can liken it to is if you get a computer and you reset it to factory settings, so you wipe off everything that there is in there and you've got a blank space to work with. That's what it was like for me. You know, I didn't know what tastes I like. I didn't know what smells I liked. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what genre of music. I didn't know anything. You are literally reset to factory settings. And that was an incredibly tough time as well. And even now, almost 12 years on, you know, I might get a smell of something, or I'll hear a piece of music, and it's like it rekindles a memory that had almost been erased. When we haven't got security in our life and we're missing something, anybody could become an addict. In September of this year, I will be 12 years clean from heroin, which is massive because my addiction was 11 years long. So I'd have been clean longer now than what I had the addiction. An addiction is a negative. If you say addiction, it's always seen as a negative. Whereas on the flip side of that, you can have a passion, which is the same drive, but if you say a passion, it becomes a positive. Since turning my life around, I've become a multiply published author. I'm a qualified nutritionist. I'm a passionate advocate for animal rights and veganism, and I also joint own an animal sanctuary. I've been one of the lucky ones. I've been through all of that, abused my body to such an extent, I was still here, and I've got no regrets about what I've done, who I am, what I do now, because to have regrets, we cannot change it. So you have to embrace the good and the bad in your life and just cherish this life.